Good morning. As you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful day here in Sheffield. This is a Sunday morning, about 9 o'clock on a Sunday morning, and this is not sort of normally the time you would get a huge number of orders, simply because there's not that many restaurants open at this time, sort of Sunday opening hours and stuff. So you're really looking at McDonald's, maybe I don't know, Starbucks, things like that are open. So, but when the weather's like this, it doesn't really feel like work to go out on the bike and deliver. And even if you don't earn a huge amount of money, just scooting around Sheffield, taking in the sun, taking in the sights, taking in the scenes, it's all kind of worth it anyhow. I'd use this particular journey out to talk about another piece of tech. Last time it came out, I talked about the Lenovo Legion Go, sort of a handheld PC, which I've been using for the last 6 months and really been enjoying. Today I wanted to really just talk about a piece of tech specifically I use for when I'm out on the bike. Although it's a piece of technology that could be used in other situations as well, and that's a little kind of wireless USB microphone I use to record the audio, and it's called the Instamic Pro Plus. Now, just got an order come through from the co-op, so I'm going to go pick that up. I'll try and keep a kind of a running total of where we are with different orders and things like that as we go along, how much I'm earning. Like I said, I didn't expect to earn a huge amount today. So the Instamic Pro Plus is this tiny USB microphone that I kind of affix inside my helmet to give me audio. Now, when I first started coming out on the bike, I didn't really think too much about the kind of audio side of things. I just assumed I could use the microphone from my camera and just use that. And I use a Insta360 camera. It's kind of mounted on my chest, but I was very quickly disabused that I would be able to use that as the main microphone for this. And I'll sort of give an example of this for the next sort of 30 seconds or so as I'm riding here. I'll switch over to the Instamic, and you can kind of hear the sound I'm getting out of that. Obviously, it just picks up too much wind noise. It's too far from my mouth. Now I know that you can kind of mount cameras to the helmet, but I didn't really want to do that because I felt it was a bit too intimidating when you're going to restaurants and turning up at people's houses. So I wanted something a bit more intrusive, and I wanted to put it on the chest. So it became apparent very quickly that was not an option for me to do. Obviously, that it just picks up too much wind noise. It's too far from my mouth. Now I know that you can kind of mount cameras to the helmet, but I didn't really want to do that because I felt it was a bit too intimidating when you're going to restaurants and turning up at people's houses. So I wanted something a bit more unobtrusive, and I wanted to put it on the chest. So it became apparent very quickly that was not an option for me to do. So then I had to look into ways of getting better sort of audio, and I kind of watched a few YouTubes and trying to work out, what the options were. And first thing I looked at really was what's called, I think, lavalier mics. These are maybe just cabled mics that you can sort of put directly into the device, into your camera, and then string it up near to your mouth. So I tested one of these lavalier mics out. Managed to get my hands on one, and the quality was really good. I affixed it using some sort of Velcro to the inside of the helmet. The big problem was that it just kept coming off. It was really difficult to keep it kind of affixed easily in the helmet, and if I had to take my helmet off, as they make you do in some of these places, then let's park down here. Sorry, mate. No, just give it. It's 8861. Right, let's go and deliver. So as I said, I tried out the lavalier mic, but it just kept sort of dropping out the helmet. Like I said, quality was good, just difficult to keep in there. So I was always a bit worried that it was just gonna get knocked out all the time. I tried another kind of small form factor mic from eBay. It was a sort of a short, sort of stubby thing. I'll put a picture up there, I can't remember the name of it. And I sort of tested that out. Again, tried to sort of affix it to the inside of the helmet with Velcro. Again, it didn't stay in there very well, and it did keep dropping out, and the quality of audio wasn't great. It's a bit scratchy, and it picked up the wind too much. So I sort of abandoned that. I did look at sort of these wireless receiver mics. We got the kind of transmitter and the receiver. You've got sort of the two bits, but that seemed a bit complicated. Far too many things to keep charged, too many points of failure. I wanted something that was kind of robust and which could be easily attached to the helmet, and which wasn't going to get any sort of interference from mobile phones, or if the mobile phone crashed or whatever, it could carry on recording. So after a bit of research, I found this mic called the Instamic Pro Plus, and it's not something that's easy to purchase. You can't buy it on Amazon, and it's difficult to find on eBay. You have to really just buy it through their website, and it's not cheap either. It's, I think I'm told, with shipping as well, we were looking at about 140-50 pounds. So it was a bit of a purchase, and I wasn't sure how easy it would be to send back if I didn't like it that much. But I got it, and I've been absolutely delighted with it. It's a bit quirky, there's no denying that. Maybe because it's kind of made by this sort of startup company. I don't know if they have that many people working for them, so you don't get this sort of slickness of some of these other companies that make tech products. But let's just kind of go through how I use it and what it. First to note, this thing is small. It's small and it's rugged. You can kind of see it here. It's kind of made of this rubberized material. Fits sort of dinkily in the palm of your hand, so it can be easily mounted in different places. And you also get sort of different ways to mount it. They give you these three what are called brackets of different kinds. One of them is sort of a Velcro option, so you can kind of attach it to different places if you wish, or there might be one place that you sort of commonly do it, so you put the Velcro in one place, and then this bracket attaches to the mic, and then you attach it to the Velcro. There's also one which has kind of a magnet, and I think this is good if you're recording on your clothing, or you want to record moving about and giving a presentation or something like that. And you can just attach it underneath the clothing, and it seems to hold pretty well, and it doesn't sort of pull the clothing too badly. And I've used that a few times for various things, and that's worked well. And there's another one which is, I think, more of a sort of a permanent one, so it's almost like a glue one, where you just sort of fix it to something and then it kind of stays there. I haven't really used that one. I don't, because I use it in different places. I want to use the different brackets. Hi there. There's your second one. Have a great day. was a nice quick order to get started with. Paid just sort of £5.50. Probably took me kind of 10 minutes to complete, which is great. So obviously, as you're kind of listening to me now, you're hearing the audio from the Instamic, which, you know, again, microphone audio is such a tricky thing to do because of things like the wind and movement and outside noise. Obviously, the fact that it's mounted inside the helmet helps a lot. And again, the mounting options are really convenient because, you know, I can put it down the sort of the side of my helmet in the sort of a space which never gets kind of knocked off. Even if I take the helmet off, it doesn't cause me any issues. Okay, I just got an order come in. It's not the best one in the world. It's about like £4 for 3 miles, which is not an ideal ratio. You really want £2 for 1 mile, but it's Sunday, weather's nice. I'm not gonna be too picky at this time of day. So no, as I was saying, the Instamic is you know, it's a robust, rugged little USB mic, and the one thing I really like about it is that it kind of records independently of the device, in the sense you can just record audio directly on the device. Just press a button on it and it will record, or there's an app you can use to kind of start the recording. But even if your phone crashes or the camera crashes or stops working or runs out of battery, the audio recording will continue on the device. And you can get, it's got quite a lot of internal storage. I think it's about 16 gigabytes or something. You can record, you know, I don't know, 12 hours or something like that of audio directly onto it. You can't do that in one go, unfortunately, because the battery, it doesn't last as long, and you can only do about 3.5 to 4 hours, which is plenty for me. I rarely record more than 2 to 3 hours on this. Now, it is technically possible to connect the device to Bluetooth on different devices, computer, cameras, etc. But I think this is where, you know, we start to see some of the sort of downsides of the device. I mean, and I think this is perhaps due to it being quite a small company making it. Connecting it via Bluetooth is a slightly convoluted process. And when I first started recording, I thought, oh, I could connect it directly to the Insta360, and you know, so the audio would be directly on the video file that comes off the camera. But I wasn't convinced by the process. It's a sort of a weird thing. You don't connect it directly to the device. You have to go through the app, and then you have to sort of connect the microphone to the app, and then you choose some hands-free profile, then you have to disconnect it, and then you check that it's connected to the Bluetooth on the device. It feels a bit clunky and a bit held together with paper and string, and I just wasn't convinced that it was gonna hold the connection. And in fact, I did test it once, and halfway through it kind of dropped the connection, and so I just got the feeling that this was not worth it, and I didn't want to go out and, you know, record for several hours and then get back and discover that the audio wasn't recorded at all. It's a massive waste of time if you find that. So you wanted something that was rock solid, and so just recording on the device itself, recording audio on the camera, and then syncing it up later is the trick. There are ways that you can sync up on video editors, you know, like Premiere Pro. I know obviously it's quite expensive, but even sort of free ones, if you get something like CapCut, you can do that, and it will do it for free if you just sort of synchronize the audio from the camera and the audio from the microphone. It normally does a pretty good job with that. All right, let's go park and pick up our next order. All right, mate, how are you?
Not bad, how are you?
Not too bad.
Just getting it ready.
Okay, no problem. No problem. Is that the coffee?
Yeah,
Could I put the coffee? Is it okay to put the coffee separate? It's just in case it sort of knocks over a bit, and then I don't want it to spill. These things are... okay, it's just that there's nowhere really to...
Are you on a bike?
Yeah.
Obviously,
Yeah. Be a bit ridiculous if I wasn't. Oh, what I can do, I got this little bag, and I can kind of pop it in there, and then we'll see if that keeps it upright. But yeah, too many potholes in Sheffield. Thank you so much. Yeah, I was a bit reluctant to go to Lisboa just because they don't really... They're lovely people there, it's lovely food as you can see, but people often order coffees from there and they don't really pack them very well, or it's quite difficult to keep them upright in the bag. That's why I was asking for something to kind of hold it. It doesn't help going down these super steep hills as well, but I've kind of secured it in a separate little mini bag in my bag. And let's see how that all goes. At least if it spills, it won't spill on the food. That's the most important thing. So yeah, and you may have kind of heard the audio there when I was talking to the guy in the shop. So it picks up, at a reasonable distance. Obviously, picks up mine a lot better, but it can pick up at a reasonable distance people's voices. So if you do need to record in a sort of a reasonably semi-confined space, and you've got two people, putting this down between them might actually not be a bad idea. And one of the reasons I use the app for this, to start the recording at least, is that you can adjust the gain on it, so sort of how much it picks up from your voice. Because I tried it a few times and I sort of just did it with the default, which I think is like set to 0, and you're getting all these kind of like spikes and sort of loud noises from my voice. I've got quite a boomy voice, so it's getting quite scratchy and unpleasant. So I dropped it down to sort of negative 10 decibels on the app, and this seems to work. And again, though, it doesn't matter if you set it on the app. Even if the app crashes or the phone dies or anything like that, it will still continue to record it at the decibel level you've chosen. And that, like I said, that's what I really like about it. I know once I start recording, whatever happens to the camera, whatever happens to the phone, that audio is going to be there. And it's only if the battery dies on the microphone, which, like I said, it's unlikely to do, because it does last a good 3.5-4 hours. That's the only circumstances under which you'll lose it. Oof, this is lovely, isn't it, Aim? Isn't this lovely? Sheffield, certain parts of Sheffield already are beautiful. Green and lush, and this weather can't be beaten. This time of day as well, and the traffic's nice and light. So many people around. Gorgeous. Hi there. There you go, there's your coffee there. Have you got it? Just one sec. And there's your food. Have a great day. Oh man, I was so happy that coffee didn't spill. I was convinced it was, especially as I just went over a couple of quite heavy bumps there before coming in. Alright, so £4.16 for that one. So I've made about, getting off at £10, been out half an hour or so I reckon, so it's not too bad. I was expecting less. So yeah, so sort of coming back to the Instamic Pro, would I recommend it? Again, with anything like this, it always comes down to use case, and you know, for my use case, it makes perfect sense, but that's not going to be the case for everyone, of course. I think if you're looking for a tiny, rugged, standalone, high quality microphone that you can just kind of mount anywhere, take anywhere, then it's excellent, and I can't really fault it. I've been really impressed. Okay, another order coming in from Greg's. However, I think if you're looking for a device to kind of connect to other devices, phones, cameras, that kind of thing, I think probably should look elsewhere. Either look at one of these kind of, you know, receiver transmitter devices. You can just be sort of plugged in. Or look for a direct kind of connection with a lavalier mic, sort of a cabled mic. So it will kind of depend on your use case. Also, you know, you have to be ready, particularly if you're pairing this up with a camera and camera recording, to be able to kind of synchronize that in editing software. Like I said, it's really not that difficult. I'm no sort of editing whiz, but I was able to just look up a quick tutorial on how to do this in various editing programs, and most of them seem to do it now, so it's really quite simple.
That's it. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Look at this, isn't this lovely, eh? Isn't this gorgeous? Sometimes you have to kind of step back a bit and appreciate your own city, country. You know, other countries obviously are beautiful, but you don't always see it yourself with your own country. You get a bit blasé about it.